Hey, I'm Rosemary Nonny Knight, RNK for short, and I am the Prosperity Minister. I support you in leaving behind the pain, the limiting stories of the past, and rising victorious into your true design life. But how are you going to know your true design life if you're not comfortable with yourself? How are you going to know what it is that you're here to accomplish? Like our affirmation this week, which we're going to sing in a minute, is I am creating success on my own terms. I am fulfilled and free. I live true to myself. For the most part, do you know what living true to yourself would actually look like? This, as I said, this is a time when a lot of people are having to spend time with themselves. Is it comfortable? Is it? Have you taken a moment to really think about it? Have you actually had any silence? Have you sat with a journal and really considered what is going on in my mind? What is keeping me from the life that I desire? Is this life that I've created actually the life that I want to continue living? Because this can be a moment of reset for you. This can be a moment of, what do I really want? What is my true design? Who am I? Who am I? Let's sing the affirmation. Say hello as you come on board, okay? I want to know who you are, where you're streaming from. Tell me, tell me, tell me. I am creating success on my own terms. I am fulfilled and free. I live true to myself. I remember who I am. I am powerful. I am capable. I remember who I am. I live true to myself. I am creating success on my own terms. I am fulfilled and free. I live true to myself. I remember who I am. I am powerful. I am capable. I remember who I am. I live true to myself. True to myself. How can you live true to yourself if you don't know who you are? Do you love, trust, accept yourself completely? This is such important stuff. For the most part, most spiritual people are more concerned with other people's dramas. They tell themselves that it's because they're trying to love other people and they're trying to be kind and trying to be good. But actually it's because they're uncomfortable with who they are. Actually, it's because they're scared of sitting with the divine and actually unpicking some of the nonsense inside of them. That was definitely my story for a very long time. In fact, I would have said that it's just such a waste of time to think about what is going on inside of me, that only people that have nothing else to do with their time, or people who are sorted out or successful, they're the only people that can actually do such silly things like find out what's going on with them. And maybe you are that person. Maybe you're very action oriented, you're very practical, but you're being forced into a position right now where actually you have a bit more time on your hands than you would normally do, and there's nobody around you, or less people at least around you. And you know, in regular times, this is where people go start looking for relationships. They're just putting themselves out there. Any relationship will do anything to avoid having to pay attention to who they are. And so they attract to themselves all manner of craziness, because if you don't know the underlying thoughts and beliefs that are driving you, you will be driven to any kind of weird direction, and you will think it's fate. You'll blame this person, that person. There's no good people left in the world. No, honey, it's because you're attracting all the crazies. Ultimately, you're attracting all the crazies into your life. And it's like, you are the one that gets to choose how your life plays out. But if you don't know who you are, some of you still have reverberating in your brains, not that you're paying attention that much, your parents, one of your mother, either your mother or your father, saying horrible things about you, saying things to you, and you don't want to keep hearing those underlying words. So you don't listen anymore. And the only way you know how to not listen is to distract yourself completely. Some of you are at church distracting yourself completely. You are at church like all of the freaking time. You are at every, well, not now, possibly, but but that was your life. That you spent lots of time doing all kinds of activities. And the great thing about church, or the unfortunate thing about church, is that lots of people can hide there. You can hide there and tell yourself that you're being all good and holy and whatever, but actually what you're doing is avoiding your own freaking head. You're avoiding your own life. You're escaping from your life by telling yourself that you're being of service to everybody. Well, now you have to actually listen to yourself and think. You actually have the opportunity to listen to the divine saying, honey, is this really how you want your life to play out? Do you really want to get to the end of your life having completely built everybody else's vision except your own? Do you really want to get to the end of your life and really you just never did anything because you never took the time to figure out what the frick you wanted? You told yourself that it was enough to keep helping everybody else, keep being part of everybody else's drama, keep doing everything else for everyone else. Or even you rebels, even you rebels, okay? You're so busy rebelling against what people want you to do. You don't actually know what you want to do. And that was me. That was my life as well. You know, I was either submitting or rebelling, submitting or rebelling, submitting or rebelling. There is a middle path. There's a third way. And that third way is not rebelling or submitting. It is actually discovering who the freak you are and choosing to live to your true design. And it takes some digging. A lot of us have a lot of layers of hurt, a lot of layers of pain. And that's why you're trying to avoid it, because you're almost scared that if you dig, you might find things you don't want to find. But they're still controlling you whether you find them or not. Whether you're conscious of them or you're unconscious, they are finding you. They are pushing you. They're driving you. And you don't even know what is driving you. You still think that life is happening to you. But it isn't. You are being driven by forces inside of you that you're refusing to look at. You are literally a masterpiece. The divine put you together perfectly with perfect everything. And there's also within you, it's like the kingdom is within you. Within you, there is a jewel waiting for you to discover it. But if you don't take the time, to sit down with yourself and figure out, who am I? What do I want? How can I move forward? Love yourself as you are. So if some of you are driven by, you're pushing yourself always to perform, to be perfect, to be this, to be the other. When last did you breathe? This is your opportunity to reset. This is your opportunity to figure out, what do you want? What do I want for my life? Not what everybody else wants for me. What do I want? And then little by little start to create a life that actually feels good to you. But it does take some self-reflection. There is no avoiding self-reflection, guys. If you are going to live a free, fulfilled, financially abundant, and love-drenched life, there is self-reflection involved. Now, you know I'm not about just navel-gazing forever. There is a need for some navel-gazing, absolutely, because if not, you'll just be going in some random direction. You don't even know where you're going. But at the same time, you're partnering that navel-gazing with action. But I don't even need to say that really to most of you, because you are very action-oriented. It's not like none of us are lazy, mostly. Most of us in this community are very action-oriented. We work hard. The problem is you're working hard going God knows where. Now it's time to pay attention. Get comfortable with yourself. The good, the bad, the in-between. That was one of our affirmations. We might even do it next week, maybe. I accept myself, the good, the bad, the in-between. I love me. Yes, I think that was it. I accept myself, the good, the bad, the in-between. I love me. I accept all of me. Yes, that was it. And it's like, that needs to be the reality for you. Accept all of you, the good, the bad, in between. This is not about seeing something inside of you and then punishing yourself, beating yourself up. That doesn't get you anywhere. You can't punish yourself to a good life. Basically, you can't. You can't. You'll just give up, you'll quit, and that'll be the end of it. What you can do is just get aware of what works for you, what feels good to you. Get comfortable with knowing what you don't like. get comfortable find the courage to admit what you don't like, because sometimes some of the things you don't like are some of the things you think you're supposed to like. Some relationships in your life are there because you think you have to have them. What if you started to get a little bit more comfortable with the idea of, actually, do I have to have all of these relationships? Are there other people out there in the 7 point God knows what billion people in the planet that maybe suit me better? That I can choose to have in my life? It says, start getting comfortable with what you want, even in terms of your work. Do I have to do this job? Is it possible that there are other jobs I could do? Is it possible that I could maybe even start my own thing and employ other people, maybe, or maybe even just do my own thing? Is it possible as another way for me to make a living? And then start to expand yourself, start to expand your thinking. Is there another way that would suit me better? Then you start to value your own desires. A lot of us are so used to thinking that whatever we want makes us greedy. I don't know, to admit what we want and then to try and get it is somehow bad. So then you condemn yourself to sticking with what you don't like forever, which makes no sense, but we do it because we think, oh, we're adults now, we have to. There's always a way to shift to a more preferred situation. But for the most part, most people don't give themselves permission to. Well, give yourself permission to. This is a great time for researching other options for your life. The thing you think is some kind of big thing up there, somebody else is living that every single day and it's just normal to them. So why not you? You're creating success on your own terms. It takes actually figuring out what your own terms are. Okay? So ask yourself this question: how comfortable am I with myself? Do I love me? Am I willing to get to know me better and the desires of my heart? Because a lot of people, you're praying about some general prayers, but there's no specificity to it because you don't know what you want. Get to know who you are. This is a great time to do it. Guys, in less than 2 days, at least at the time of this recording, depends on when you watch it, of course, Return Home to Peace and Plenty will be closing. Part of what we're doing in Return Home to Peace and Plenty is getting you, 1, in touch with the divine, and 2, back in touch with yourself. Fall in love with the divine, fall in love with yourself. That is really the under everything of the deliberate pathway, or the deliberate millionaire pathway. Come and join me. Come and work with me. Let's explore you. Let's explore what you want, and let's put some tools and techniques in place that enable you to create the life that you actually desire, that enable you to let go of things that are keeping you back. Some of those things you cannot, that's it, you just cannot see it on your own. It is when you start talking to me on the live calls that I say, hey, honey, there's another option. And then you start to think, oh, maybe there is. And then you start to do these things about, the various techniques I teach you through the three different modules. The first module is all about, restoring that foundational connection, that power in the first place. The second module is all about clearing the nonsense that keeps you from your path. And the third module is all about allowing your opulent harvest. I remember the name of that one. Allow your opulent harvest by getting very clear on what it is that you want. And I teach you strategies on how to bring this stuff to life. Come and work with me in Return Home to Peace and Plenty. Let's do this thing together. Let's do this thing together, okay? It's time for you to break through to your next level. It's time for you to stop dreaming about some one day, sometime when things are going to happen, and actually start now to attract the life you want, to create the life you want. Message me the word plenty and come join in. You have less than 2 days at this investment level. It will never be this investment level again. You're already saving $400. It will never be this low again. Come and join in. Okay? I look forward to working with some of you. Also share this with someone else, because again, we want to make sure that we're spreading positivity on social media, especially at this time. Okay? Okay then, my loves. I am creating success on my own terms. Let's discover what my own terms are. Get comfortable with yourself. Much amazing love! Until the next time, share, share, share. Message me the word plenty if you're ready to level things up. It's been a pleasure as always. Go forth and prosper. Much amazing love. Bye!